I sent the following email dated 12 May 2021 to Kevin Lea, which reads, Dear Mr. Lee, the problem with speaking to you over the telephone is that I am not given the time to put my case forward, as you just carried on, and when I manage to voice my opinion, you then interrupt and divert me away to something else. I have copied your email and addressed the point you make. The mere fact that you refer to Ballington in your email now as Billington indicates that you made no notes inquiry, making your response up to facilitate your pretense. You have also forgotten to include your insistence that the clocks were 1 hour out from the correct time, which would indicate the police have been working to the wrong times. Or would that only be in the enquiries office and no one noticed until I made the complaint to the ICO, or just another excuse to be used for blurring out the time and date? Your email. Mr. Glasgow, we have received notification from the ICO's office that you have informed them that as of yet you have not received a final response to your concerns raised with them. I was hoping to discuss this matter, but accept your preference for communication. To be honest, I find your comments to the ICO a little discourteous, given that I have spoken to you on 3 separate occasions. I read the issues raised below. To be honest, I find your finding my comments to the ICO a little discourteous is illogical. Would you rather I lied to the ICO? Actually, you have shown nothing but contempt towards me from the date of the first direct email I received from you. 26 February 2021, 1 hour and 9 minutes. 4 March 2021, 32 minutes and 48 seconds. 23 March 2021, 21 minutes and 3 seconds. Each call was discussed in full, the issues raised and my response to each. The last call was a final update to include the enquiries I have made RE Station Enquiry Officer SEO Billington, RE your visits to Chesterfield Police Station. My recollection of each call was that at all times I was honest and transparent in my dealings with you, and took on board all you said and conducted further enquiries in an attempt to resolve the issue. SEO Billington. I also recall that whilst accepting my actions, you were not happy with the fact that the CCTV was not continuous, despite my reasoning as to why this was the case. On this point, we agree to disagree. Recap. I apologise unreservedly for our failure to supply all the footage on our initial disclosure. It wasn't a failure, it was done purposely and deliberately in order to not supply the CCTV footage of each visit to the police station as a whole to facilitate the removal of audio. Obscuring the date-time stamp in the early releases was due to new software coupled with unfamiliarity with the system tools. Staff would have been using the same software and system tools for years due to that during our conversation you stipulated that it was a software update and not new software. Using the blurring tool to blur out the time and date would have been done deliberately, else the edit would have been undone to rectify if it had been a mistake. The clips were not continuous given that you were at all times not in them, but those you were in had been provided. How would you explain that it was only after making a complaint to the ICO that the third set of clips was disclosed? Staff dealing with the first request must have seen the second and third, and staff dealing with the second request must have seen the third instances where I can obviously be seen by CCTV at all times apart from when I use the public convenience. Obscuring the area behind the enquiry office was carried out as it wasn't your information and showed computer screens in use by staff. As conveyed during our telephone conversation, the reason for requiring the area behind the enquiry desk to not be blared was so I could see whether or not SEO Ballington was making the notes from the information I was telling her. The CCTV did not have audio facility. I can accept that in other areas of the station there would be CCTV with audio disabled due to that other cameras in the same area would have theirs enabled and that would pick up the audio in the same area. However, I only saw one camera in the enquiries area. The audio has been removed due to that what was said and done at the time. SEO Billington could not remember whether she took notes of your visit or not. Irrespective, she did not hold any at the time of our communication. I had taken documented evidence to the police station to substantiate the fraud that I was reporting. I handed them over to Nancy Ballington for her to see what I was explaining. Nancy Ballington held onto the documents, and when I asked for them to be handed back, which was due to that I was told by her they were not going to investigate anything from that date previous. She said that she was going to photocopy them and went, although I said she could keep them as they were photocopies and that I have others in my backpack. When she returned, she said that the photocopies along with the notes were being filed. Given the above and on the conclusion of our last call, I viewed the issues as closed in full both from your aspect and that of the ICO. On the contrary, I view the issues as not closed and ongoing from my aspect. I am sorry that I could not resolve the issues in full to your satisfaction, but it wasn't for the lack of trying. Once again, please accept my apologies for our initial failures which prompted you to raise the issues you did. On a positive note, this has allowed me to review the practices with the wider team so as to hopefully prevent any repetition. Tampering with evidence is a criminal offence which applies to all involved. Kind regards, Martin Glasgow.